They forged history while accumulating hidden billionaire wealth. Which president created a hidden empire of riches and opulence?
Great voice.
Donald Trump is the sole U.S. president who took office as a billionaire, yet his wealth continued to increase after he arrived at the White House. Trump Tower, the 58-floor skyscraper located in Manhattan, is more than just real estate. It represents a golden emblem of power. Inside, marble flooring, 24-karat gold details, and opulent penthouses that lease for millions. However, what many are unaware of is that concealed behind the stunning exterior, some of the globe's richest elites conduct clandestine meetings in its upper-floor suites, deliberating issues that could influence global markets and political scenarios. Next, we have Mar-a-Lago. Initially bought for $10 million, this estate in Palm Beach is currently valued at more than $292 million. It's not merely a residence. It's an exclusive club where prominent individuals shell out six-figure sums just to gain entry. Is Mar-a-Lago merely a lavish getaway? Some theorize it's a strategic power center where billion-dollar agreements and political alliances are created secretly, out of the public view. Concealed beneath the lavish social events, murmurs of secret discussions and clandestine arrangements have caused many to ponder what is truly occurring behind those ornate doors. Trump's financial empire extends worldwide, encompassing upscale golf resorts in Scotland and luxury properties in Dubai. His properties draw in some of the most influential figures, turning them into hubs for hidden dealings. Is his true wealth concealed? Certain reports indicate that Trump's wealth goes beyond the revealed properties, prompting the inquiry. Is there an undiscovered fortune lurking in the background? Given a web of global business activities and speculated offshore transactions, might Trump's actual financial situation be significantly more substantial than most understand? When Bill Clinton exited the presidency in 2001, he and Hillary faced debts exceeding $1 million. However, in just 15 years, they accumulated an astonishing $230 million. In what way? Bill Clinton's voice itself turned into a multi-million-dollar commodity. His speaking fees soared to $500,000 for each speech. His book, My Life, earned $29 million. Was his fortune solely derived from speeches and publications, or were political connections even more significant? Hillary Clinton also joined in, earning $225,000 for each speaking event. Her memoir, Hard Choices, resulted in another significant financial gain. However, the true enigma resides within their real estate empire. The Clintons possess a $1.7 million property in Chappaqua, a $2.85 million mansion in Washington, D.C., and an $18 million vacation home in the Hamptons. These are not merely luxury residences. They serve as strategic investments that align them with America's wealthiest individuals. Their bonds were more profound than what the public could perceive. Bill's impact reached into profitable consulting positions, secret board memberships, and international speaking opportunities that frequently featured obscure financial supporters. At the same time, the Clinton Foundation, a multi-billion-dollar charitable organization, sparked concerns regarding the connection between financial power and political sway. Were contributions from abroad driving their wealth? Next, there's the profitable realm of elite networking. Confidential meetings, selective events, and secret investments are said to have contributed to their wealth increase. Did the Clintons utilize their tenure and power to establish a financial stronghold that stays concealed from public inspection? Nevertheless, the main inquiry persists. What caused their financial success to expand so rapidly? Are there hidden investments, covert financial deals, or political endorsements that contributed to their wealth growth? The reality could be more intricate than it appears. The Obamas arrived at the White House with a humble net worth. Currently, their empire has a value exceeding $135 million, a wealth accumulated through strategic agreements, popular books, and a strong influence in the entertainment sector. However, their transition from public officials to media tycoons is much more fascinating than it seems.
To everybody who is here tonight and everybody watching at home, it is now officially the time.
Book contracts alone changed their fortunes, converting political autobiographies into lucrative treasures. Barack's The Audacity of Hope laid the groundwork, but it was a promised land that solidified his position as a publishing powerhouse, bringing him tens of millions. At the same time, Michelle's Becoming broke records, with sales exceeding 10 million copies globally and launching a multi-city tour that generated millions additionally. These books were more than memoirs. They were cultural sensations that guaranteed their status among the literary elite.
Two more words to say. I'm out.
However, the true turning point? Hollywood. Their remarkable $50 million deal with Netflix marked a monumental change, propelling them from the realm of politics into the elite of entertainment. Through their production company, Higher Ground, they've assembled content that merges influence with narrative, creating an empire that extends beyond the limits of Washington. This agreement not only boosted their brand, but also established them as influential figures in a field where stories create legacies.
Their Martha's Vineyard property, a 29-acre estate, offers stunning views of the Atlantic Ocean, perfect for relaxation and entertaining.
What about their real estate portfolio? This is where their riches become even more intriguing. Their $8.1 million mansion in Washington, D.C. serves not only as a residence, but also as a key power hub in the center of American politics. However, their real getaway is the stunning $11.75 million estate on Martha's Vineyard, a hidden paradise covering almost 29 acres, where the elite of the world go to avoid public scrutiny. Concealed by exclusive gates, this property signifies the peak of their economic rise. However, is there more to their financial kingdom than what is visible? Might there be hidden enterprises, discreet collaborations, or profitable investments subtly directing millions into their wealth? Their empire continues to expand with influence spanning politics, media, and business. The question persists about how extensive their wealth really is. In contrast to his predecessors, George W. Bush maintained a quieter presence post-presidency. However, don't be misled, his riches are far from modest. His memoir, Decision Points, achieved sales of over 2 million copies, resulting in millions in revenue. His speaking charges of $175,000 for each event keep increasing his wealth. However, his true wealth is found in undisclosed investments.
President George W. Bush's Crawford, Texas ranch is featured this morning in Architectural Digest. The former commander-in-chief and his wife Laura provide a rare look.
Bush's mansion in Dallas is valued at millions, yet some speculate he possesses hidden interests in undisclosed industries. Might there be hidden oil investments or private enterprises boosting his wealth that are not publicly known? Apart from his book contracts and speaking opportunities, Bush has retained strong connections with Texas's influential oil sector. Despite publicly distancing himself from direct participation, rumors continue regarding profitable private equity transactions associated with energy corporations. Insiders indicate that his vast web of corporate connections guarantees a consistent flow of significant investments that seldom attract media attention. Next, there's his artistic profession. What started as a personal pastime evolved into an unforeseen source of income. His paintings, which include portraits of world leaders and self-reflective works, have been sold at auction for remarkable amounts, reaching six-figure prices from top collectors keen to possess a piece of presidential art. Is this merely a passion project, or is it another meticulously curated revenue source? Moreover, Bush's ties in real estate stay low profile. Although his Dallas residence is well known, not much information is disclosed about other assets. Some assert he quietly invests in top properties through corporate entities, concealing his actual degree of ownership. And how about his familial connections? The Bush family's influence in finance and politics provides access to inherited wealth. Although Bush shuns the limelight, his financial empire keeps growing. However, the fundamental question is, how much wealth exists below the surface? George Washington was not only the first president of the nation, he also served as its initial financial powerhouse. After accounting for inflation, his wealth rises to $580 million. How come? Expansive property holdings. His Mount Vernon property was not just a home, it was a dominion. Covering more than 8,000 acres, It included not just a plantation, but also one of the earliest and most lucrative whiskey distilleries in America. However, Mount Vernon was merely the starting point. Washington was among the biggest land speculators of his era, acquiring tens of thousands of acres throughout Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky. His assets reached beyond public awareness, featuring investments in Western territories set to soar in value with America's expansion. However, Washington's riches extended beyond merely land. He grasped the influence of industry. His whiskey distillery alone generated almost 11,000 gallons each year, ranking it among the largest distilleries in the nation. His expertise in business encompassed fisheries, mills, and manufacturing, demonstrating that he was not merely a political leader, but also a strategic entrepreneur. With a net worth adjusted to $236 million, Thomas Jefferson ranked as one of the richest early presidents. His Monticello estate and vast land holdings depicted a scene of wealth. He resided in opulence, organizing extravagant banquets, acquiring exquisite artworks, and mingling with the intellectual high society of his era. His prosperity was strongly linked to land, farming, and his contentious ownership of enslaved individuals, which supported his plantation system. However, there's a surprising turn. Jefferson passed away deeply in debt. How did a man with such great wealth end up losing everything? Was it poor administration, or were there undisclosed arrangements that depleted his wealth? Jefferson's unquenchable thirst for literature, exquisite wines, and lavish building ventures gradually undermined his financial position. He borrowed heavily, frequently using his own land and assets as collateral, neglecting to match his spending with a stable income. Additionally, there were the concealed stresses from his personal financial responsibilities, political expenses, and the burden of preserving his public persona. As a politician, Jefferson was recognized for his principles of modesty and Republican straightforwardness, yet privately, he engaged in the very extravagances he cautioned about. His ventures in agriculture and unsuccessful projects, such as a doomed nail factory, only worsened his financial troubles. Nevertheless, murmurs of covert financial transactions introduce an additional dimension to the enigma. Some theorize that hidden deals, undisclosed debts, or invisible political favors contributed to his downfall. Did Jefferson's intricate financial system include concealed agreements that ended up failing? Or was his idea of economic independence just unfeasible, considering increasing national and personal obligations? At the time of his passing, Jefferson's estate was encumbered with such debt that Monticello needed to be sold. A founding father, an architect of democracy, and an emblem of American enlightenment. However, financially, a man whose empire collapsed around him. The question lingers: was his destiny a tragic flaw of overindulgence, or were there hidden influences orchestrating his financial downfall? From Trump's impressive skyscrapers to the Clintons' swift monetary ascent, these presidents demonstrate that life post-White House can be even more profitable than the presidency. Yet with wealth derived from political power, high-stakes transactions, and hidden undertakings, one question persists. What hidden truths are still unknown about the extravagant lives of America's wealthiest presidents